Thanks for joining another fly tying video. Today we're going to be tying a really simple yet effective egg laying caddis. And in the vise I have a size 14 Togens barbless dry fly hook. And for my thread I'm going to be using a fluorescent chartreuse color. This is 70 denier. And in the description of the video there will be a link to all the materials of this fly. So if I do skip a step or forget to mention a material, please forgive me, but that's what the description is for. So please be sure to check that out. And to get started, I'm going to be just starting about 2 eye lengths away, and I'm going to work my way down. And just as I get to the bend of the hook, this is where I'm going to start building up my thread to create that little egg sac. Now at this point, I mean, you're free to continue tying on. I like to add a touch of UV finish just to give it some more durability. As the, hopefully the fish start biting at it. You don't want their teeth to start ripping away at that thread. But completely optional. If you don't have UV finish, you can just put some glue or some head cement and just sort of harden it up a little bit. So I'm just going to start with a touch here. And I find it just gives it that extra little pop. The UV with the fluorescent chartreuse thread, you can see how much that pops on its own. All right, and for the ribbing of this fly, I'm just going to be using some hollow tinsel. I'm going to tie that onto the near side of me here. And for the body of the fly, I'm just going to be using 1 strand of peacock herl. Just going to cut off that brittle tip. And just going to create a little bit of a taper here with my thread. I'm actually going to bring it forward just a little bit. Now we can start wrapping our peacock. You want nice, close, touching wraps. Now I could use the rotary function of my vise just to make this a little bit easier, but I get that not everybody has one of those, so we'll just do the old-fashioned hand method. Now we can counter wrap our tinsel. I'm going to do one full turn in the back here, and that just gives it that extra little oomph to the fly. And I want these not touching, but not too far apart, right? Where you can see that peacock is just sort of peeking through there. All right, that looks good there. And for the wing, I'm going to be using some elk hair. You can go nuts in different colors of elk if you wish. Just making sure I got no short little stubbies. Make sure my tips are nice and aligned here. A variety of ways to tie on the hair. I'm going to put this just a tad longer than the bend of the hook here. And I'm going to transfer that to my left hand. And before I start to secure that in, I am going to get my head cut just like that. And I just simply use the eye of the hook here as my guide. And then a little counter spin on my thread will make sure the thread jumps back on my first wrap. And I'm going to go just over the hook shank, and then a second time around, and then I'm going to crank down on my thread just before that breaking point. Go 3 more times, 4 more times, and maybe one more for my own sanity. And then you can reposition these if you want. Then I'm going to jump forward. And now we're ready for a whip finish, or in this case, I'm going to actually use my little half hitch tool. I like these for the smaller dry flies, and especially when I don't want to trap any fibers by the eye of the hook there. All right, so now I got a few stragglers here you can see that will drive me nuts. So I am actually going to, I mean, you can cut these off, but then you risk having a little sort of nubbin in there. So I am going to use my tweezers and I'll pull that out. I find it just allows me to get a little bit closer to that thread so that nothing's really sticking out. I mean, yeah, I mean, you can come in here with scissors as well. Got a few more on this side that I don't like. This is more of a me issue than it is a fish issue. And now we're just ready for some head cement. I like the water-based formulas. Get right into all those thread wraps. And there it is. A nice egg laying caddis. You can see the little goopy jelly eggs at the bottom here. And those can come in, various sizes. I mean, they typically lay them in either big globs or almost like a string of jelly. So, this is just the start of it. So this is, the sizes are optional. You can even tie them in different colors, right? You're adding like another hotspot basically, just to help trigger those fish. So, hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you try one on. Thanks for watching and tune into the next one. Cheers.